Okay, in your artwork, you not only have to have a person or people accurately drawn, you also need some sort of a location. So the person is somewhere, outdoors, in a room, um, but there's somewhere where there's at least something close to you, which is called foreground, something a little farther away, which is called middle ground, and something really far away, which is called background. So you need at least two of those three in your artwork to create a sense of depth. Your artwork is two-dimensional, it's flat, but one of the things artists do is sometimes they take the flat artwork and they try to make it look like you're looking out a window where you see the real world, which is three-dimensional and has things that are closer to you, things that are a little farther away from you, and things that are really far away. So as you draw the location for your person or people, I want you to keep these in mind, and here's some advice. When you draw things that are close to you, they are really close to the foreground. It's close to the bottom of the page. So you may have a person or people that are close to the bottom of the page. They are in the foreground, and they look fairly big. And if you needed anything else there, let's say I needed a fence here. Oops. So I would draw it so it was close to the bottom of the page. It might even be going off the page, which is another way artists use space to make it look like it's going off. Or maybe I wanted a tree here. If I put it close to the bottom of the page, it will look like it's closer to me, the viewer, or whoever's looking at it, and it will look bigger than any other tree I might draw in here because it's the one closest. So that's foreground. Now, if you want things to look like they're a little farther away, they are going to be a little higher up, and they are going to be a little smaller. So I'm going to kind of establish some kind of hills that are a little farther away. So if I were going to draw another tree, and it was going to be back here a ways, it's a little smaller. If I'm going to draw one that's farther away yet, it's smaller yet. So keep that in mind. The farther away it gets from you, the viewer, it's higher up in the picture, it's smaller. Or let's say I want a road, and the road goes off the page down here, and then the road goes winding up into here, and maybe heads that way. So there's one side of my road. As the road gets farther away, it gets narrower until it just meets, the two sides meet. And that would be the same with a river, or let's say I was going to put a lake over here. It wouldn't be a circle, I'm not looking at it from overhead. You know. And if it had a tree on it, the tree would be similar in size to this one. There's a tree on the bank of it. There's a smaller tree there. I don't think there'd be a tree right on the edge of the lake. Now, let's say you wanted a house, and you want the house to look like it's a little farther away. It's a little higher up. You know, maybe they need a path to their door. It gets narrower as it goes back. Maybe they need a nice tree here for some shade. It's smaller. Now, you can do linear perspective, which would tell you exactly how much smaller, or you can just work with the idea of foreground, middle ground, background. As things get farther away, they get higher up on the paper, and they look smaller. So if you're interested in linear perspective, there's a whole playlist with a link on Schoology to a YouTube playlist with various videos on how to do 1 and 2 point linear perspective. Now, so foreground, close, biggest at the bottom, middle ground, smaller, higher up. Background, higher up yet. We're going to draw some distant mountains. Now, the only things that really show in a lot of detail in the background, because things are so far away, are large things, like mountain ranges, like distant hills. A tree would be really quite small, and I don't know if I were drawing trees way out here. I might just draw a little cluster of them in some way, but they would be small. I mean, imagine let's say I had a little house out here. This is really far away. It's not going to be much because we're seeing mountains. Mountains are big. They would show up, but other things that might be out here are going to look quite small, not have much detail. You're looking really far away to see them. So generally it's something, you might have, sometimes people draw like sunsets. You can also add things in the sky. There's some clouds. But anything that you're saying, hey, it's in the background, is going to be very little detail. If you want more middle ground, you might do very little with the background. Like I could have filled my middle ground up with a lot of trees. You wouldn't see much background. So other things to keep in mind as you add values. The farther away things are, the lighter and bluer they look. You're looking through more atmosphere. So distant mountain ranges look very pale, very little detail, and slightly blue. If you have any oranges or reds that you're working with, they're going to be in the foreground or middle ground. As we see things through more atmosphere, things look more cool and blue. So at least try out some ideas with foreground, middle ground, and background, at least using 2 of them, and see what you can do with it. There are various other videos in the playlist that you're welcome to watch.